Welcome back to the Conquest Champions Battle Report League. In this season we have a clash of titans. It's Jeremy, the winner of last season, going up against Henry, the world champion. For those of you who don't know what the Conquest Champions League is, I've taken 8 tournament veterans and pitted them against each other in an elimination style tournament. And this is the Grand Championship of Season 2. Let's meet our players and get into this game. Our first player is Jeremy, the host of the Green Dragon podcast, one of the longest running podcasts on the Middle-earth strategy battle game, and the champion of Season 1 of the Champions League.
I'm back for Game 3 of the Conquest Champions League Season 2. Season 1 went really well for me. Season 2, we've had a little bit of a delay, but I'm ready to take on Henry. Although, to be honest, this is probably the matchup I'm worried about the most. So I've got the 2 heroes of Dale with the Legendary Legion this time. We've got King Brand and then Bard the second. 2 heroes that are going around on foot, which will do fine against Henry's troops. Not so well against the heroes on cavalry, but that's okay. And then each of them has a near identical warband. They've all got 3 Knights of Dale, the new models. They've got 4 archers with their elven bow and their good shooting. They've got 3 with spear and shield, 4 with shield and sword. And then King Brand, because he's the king, gets a banner bearer with a spear and a shield.
Jeremy's army really is a beautiful work of art. Now our next player is Henry Kerr. Henry stormed through the first 2 games that he played in the Conquest Champions League, even eliminating myself. And he is a veteran of Articon, the World Championship tournament, where he won in the doubles.
Back for the finale for Game 3, and it's one that I've been a bit worried about, because Jeremy's an old adversary of mine. So my list is Boromir, 3 Knights, Kyrian, 6 Warriors, Damrod, 3 Warriors, 3 Rangers with Spear, Baragon mounted, 4 Sick Guard, and 2 Warriors with Spear. No banners. He's got the numbers on me. He's got a slight shooting advantage, but I've got the hitting power with Boromir. So I think this game will come down to whether or not I can effectively get Boromir into combat and get those kills down on the board. But look, it also depends on the scenario. We don't know what's going to come down, so that'll be interesting.
But I've got to stop Boromir from getting into all my troops and into my heroes, so I really need to make sure that I bottleneck him somewhere. But luckily I'm on Osgiliath, so there's a good chance of that happening. Henry's very likely to wander into a terrible spot, and I can just trap him there for the rest of the game.
Still no banners in my list, and I guess in order to win, all I have to do is not get caught wandering into a stupid position.
And the table that we're playing on is Jeremy's absolutely phenomenal Osgiliath table. With the release of the new Battle of Osgiliath set, we decided it was the perfect time to bring this terrain out. It's nice and dense, meaning that both armies with their shooting are going to have to get in close and fight each other. In the Conquest Champions League, 3 scenarios are determined at random, and then the players roll off and each of them gets an opportunity to veto one of them. This makes the game a lot more balanced and a lot more fun. Alright, and we've drawn our 3 random scenarios. We have capturing control, domination, and hold ground. So we'll roll off to see who vetoes first. Whoa. And Henry's on a 2, so he's vetoing first. Henry, what are you going to veto?
Hold ground.
Alright, Jeremy, what about you?
Let's veto capture and control. So I want to do domination.
Domination it is. In domination, the players place 5 objectives around the table. Each of these objectives is worth 2 points. There's also 1 point for breaking the enemy force and 1 point for putting a wound on the leader. The game finishes when one army is down to 25% of their starting numbers. And deployment started with Henry putting Damrod and his warband just down on the center line, ready to run forwards. Jeremy put his first warband led by Prince Bard down just across from them, and with this building in front of some of them. He has his archers there with some clear shots at that warband that Henry put down. Henry's next response was Kyrian's warband, who just went on the center line right on that central objective, ready to run forwards and hopefully hold that objective all game. And Jeremy's second and final warband went down with the king, and it was effectively just bolstering the existing warband that went down before, so his all army is staying together. And those Knights of Dale went in the front row so they can receive the charges and get +1 to wound thanks to their special rule. Now Henry's next warband went down, and that was Boromir, the important one, with his 3 knights ready to charge forwards and hopefully do some damage. His final warband with Baragon went down in the same spot just bolstering his lines. And this is our board after deployment. Looks like Minas Tirith is ready to run forwards. Well, let's get into it. How about we roll our first turn priority?
Yours.
Goes to Dale.
Jeremy is equal.
And Jeremy's first move phase started off a little bit anticlimactically. He was just adjusting his lines, making sure those Knights of Dale were in the front row, and keeping a lot of his archers still so they are ready to shoot. Henry decided that he needed to just close the distance. He knows that Jeremy has the superior shooting on him, so he wants to run in and fight him as quickly as possible, so he's going into these ruins. And he's got his line. You can see him sending his archers all the way forwards there, and bringing Boromir ready to charge in. He's kept him outside 6 inches of Jeremy, so he will always be able to move next turn, but he'll still be able to charge. And that's the end of first turn movement. Jeremy's going to have a lot of shots coming out of the Dale archers here. And Henry's just pushing forwards, hoping to get into Jeremy as quickly as possible. And Jeremy started with his flurry of shots, rolling a lot of dice, but only managing to score 1 kill in the end. Henry had 1 archer who was able to shoot, and that 1 archer got lucky and actually managed to get a kill, not making Jeremy happy. Turn 2 priority went to Jeremy, so that's Jeremy's move with the Dale. He starts out by pushing into Henry's line. Now, I was interested to see if he would go backwards or forwards here, and he's decided on forwards. He knows that he's going to need to fight over those objectives. He's got Prince Bard into the fight, ready to get some kills with those decent attacks. And even his archers are pushing forwards here because he knows he needs numbers in the fight and he can't shoot into combat. So this is the board after Jeremy's move. Let's see how Henry's going to respond. And now, because Henry knew that Jeremy wasn't going to be shooting this turn, he just moved half with some of his rangers so that he would be able to get some free shots into Jeremy, hopefully softening him up. And importantly, Boromir came around this side and stayed outside 6 inches of Jeremy's troops so that next turn he'll get the charge. And that actually took us into the shooting phase. There wasn't a heap of movement there, and Henry luckily managed to take down one of Jeremy's Knights of Dale. Definitely a painful loss. That took us into the combat phase where Beregond, a Citadel Guard, and a warrior all lost a fight to a Knight of Dale. That Knight of Dale put a wound on Beregond, who only has 1 wound and 1 fate, but he passed. Jeremy then lost a warrior of Dale, and then another warrior of Dale pushed back 4 warriors of Minas Tirith. That fight 4 really helping out there, but he was shielding. And then Prince Bard managed to get a kill there, helping damage Henry's numbers, and finally, Henry managed to kill another Knight of Dale using Kyrian. And this is our board after the combat phase. Henry took 2 casualties and lost a fate point, while Jeremy lost 3 models that turn. Priority has just gone to Henry. So, Jeremy, have you made your decision?
Yeah, I'll use mine.
Henry, you going to respond?
Yeah, I'll use mine. Cool. So it's a move with Brand.
Brand, cool. I'm going to call a move. I think it's going to be a move with Damrod.
And the roll-off went to Jeremy, so Prince Brand is going to be moving first.
And then it's back to that one.
And with Jeremy's move, he went in and charged Kyrian with Prince Brand, but he left a gap open, so he's probably going to get pulled off, but it's just tying up a hero. And then with the rest of his move, all of his troops inside the building just pushed forwards. He's recharged Beregond, hoping to get the lucky kill on him before he can spend his point of might. And on this side, the troops are just pushing into combat, but Jeremy left a model in that gap there so that Boromir won't be able to charge through, and even if he heroic combated, he would just bump into that shieldman. So good play for containing a big hero that could be doing a lot of damage. Now Henry just adjusted his lines, making sure everything was ranked up well, but Jeremy missed that Boromir was going to be able to go around the side, and Jeremy made this board. He had home field advantage, so there's no excuse. But around the board, the pieces are also moving, making sure to actually play the objective. It can be easy to lose sight of what you're actually doing, but ultimately, if you don't hold those points at the end of the game, none of the fighting matters. And Jeremy sent troops into Boromir, making sure his heroic combat couldn't do much damage if he did decide to call one. And at the end of all the movements, there is a massive fight in the middle where the lines have clashed, but around the side of the board, Jeremy has some Warriors of Dale going after this objective, while there's a Knight hiding behind that building. We've got a Citadel Guard next to this objective. Jeremy's got this one covered, and no one is currently sitting at this objective, so I'm guessing there's going to be a push through to try to seize that one. In the shooting phase, Henry again had a shot, but didn't manage to kill anything. So in the combat phase, are you going to be calling any heroics, either of you?
Heroic combat with Boromir.
Alright, he's just fighting that one archer. Any from you, Jeremy?
No, no for me.
Alright, well let's see Boromir's roll.
6.
Yep. So Boromir will take that.
He's dead.
He's got the kill. And where's Boromir ending up?
I'm just going to go into those 2 there.
So just trying to cut down some of Jeremy's numbers.
I think it's my priority, so why don't we do that combat next? Horn of Gondor.
Bodyguard.
Yes, you are too. I thought you said it wouldn't matter. 6s.
I said it wouldn't matter if I'm losing. I'm losing at the moment.
On the left, got him. One more set on the right.
So Boromir has killed 3 Warriors of Dale this turn, which is actually a great result given that it only cost him 1 point of might. Damrod followed that by killing his opponent, taking down a Warrior of Dale, and then Henry's Charging Knight did the same, killing another Warrior of Dale, making Jeremy's casualties super high already. Jeremy did manage to win the fight and push back some Warriors of Gondor and get the kill in return, but another Warrior of Dale was pushed back and slain. Now inside the destroyed building, Kirian killed a Warrior of Dale, but Jeremy did respond with the Prince, killing a Warrior of Gondor. So this turn is incredibly bloody. Everything is dying. In the next combat, some more Warriors of Dale were pushed back even though they had the higher fight, and a Spearman died. Next, Warriors of Dale pushed back some Warriors of Gondor, but didn't get the kill. Baragon lost the fight, but Henry thought he was going to die. In the end, Jeremy didn't roll quite high enough, so he got put back on the board. Henry was happy about that because he still had a might point. And in the next fight, Henry managed to kill another Knight of Dale. He's killed something in almost every single fight that he's won, but Jeremy finished by killing a Warrior of Gondor with the King. Jeremy took some pretty heavy casualties there, so he's going to need some special tricks to bring this one back. And priority goes to Jeremy. Maybe this is the break he needs to get back in the lead. This turn priority, it went to Jeremy. And Henry, what did you do?
I called a heroic move with Kirian just because I sort of wanted to keep the momentum going and plug up my line because I am looking at a bit of trouble in here.
So much trouble.
I've just got a pin in here. That's the only thing.
And Jeremy, how'd you respond?
Oh, I called a heroic move because at this point in time I've lost almost half my models, so I just need to go really aggressive and try and turn the tides through just brute force.
Alright, and the roll-off went to Jeremy, so that's his heroic move.
He's going to charge this guy and he's going to sneak right against the wall.
Fair enough.
And that means that those 2 guys which are in range can reach.
Well, now you don't need to call with me because you had priority and you've just cancelled Henry's priority. Now, Jeremy is definitely in damage control mode here. He's lost almost half his army already, and he hasn't done that much damage back in return, so he's going for the objectives. This Archer of Dale was running through the building, trying to get this troll objective, and around the side of the table, Jeremy's making sure to push forwards with just a model to start threatening Henry. And in the destroyed building, fighting over the center building, Jeremy is just controlling where all the fights are. It's really nice to have priority so he's not having any models run through his line and get traps on him. This is the board after Jeremy's move, so it's Henry's turn to respond. Jeremy's going for the objectives, and Henry's just got 1 safe one back here, and the other 3 are in contention, and the one in the middle is in Henry's control for now. And most of Henry's stuff was tied up, but down in the back corner objective, he has a knight going after the Warriors of Dale, and he just cleaned up his lines on the inside here, as well as moved his Citadel Guard Archer so he can get down. And at this point in the game, there's no shooting because everyone is fighting. So that takes us into the combat phase. Jeremy, do you have anything to call?
Call a heroic combat with King Brand.
Both players also called a heroic strike, Henry with Kirian and Jeremy with Prince Bard. Jeremy won the fight with King Brand.
+1 wounds, so 4s, I believe.
So rolling to wound. Oh, it's not good.
No, it's reroll a single d6 to roll the wound.
Won't matter. You might get a kill, but
Oh, I might get a kill. I don't get a kill.
So unfortunately, a botch off the king there. That's not what Jeremy needed.
No.
Where to next?
Your call, mate.
Let's go Kirian because he looks in a little bit of trouble there. I'm not sure he can get a full inch away. So let's do a strike off. Strike off, strike off, strike off.
10?
10. Okay, I've got 3 for the red guy, and then I've got a feint, and the black one is a neg one.
So Kirian and Prince Bard both on fight 10.
Gonna use a point of might to draw it.
And they've both got the 6. So it's going to a 50-50. 1, 2, 3 is going to go to Dale.
It's fine.
But a 4, 5, 6 will go to Minas Tirith.
You all back off.
And he did shield, just push them back.
Yep.
Just keeps them alive.
There we go. Well, that's my gambit, and that's gone.
In the next fight, a Warrior of Gondor was just pushed back by the Warriors of Dale. The same thing happened in the fight after that as well. Then, after that, a Citadel Guard was slain by the Warriors of Dale, giving Jeremy a kill. And then, in the fight against Baragon, they both rolled the same on the dual roll. So, roll off on Baragon, and it's gone to Minas Tirith again.
Got him.
And he's managed
So
to get
I
a kill.
killed one each there, so yeah.
And Boromir's fight. Boromir's on the 6. Unfortunately, that unlucky Archer of Dale has been slain.
And following that, another trapped warrior died.
Charging Knight and Downroad if you want it.
Oh, cool.
Just your 3, yours.
I'll go. How much might does Cameron have?
None.
I got the knight.
Yeah, makes
Right
much more sense. Close.
Okay. Cool.
So Jeremy is broken, but because he's a part of the Legendary Legion, all of his warriors get the Sworn Protector special rule, meaning they will not have to take courage tests while the king is alive. And Henry, are you calling anything because it's Jeremy's priority?
Yep, I want to get into him, and I'm going to call it with Boromir because I'm in range.
Alright, Jeremy, will you be countering that?
Good call. Yeah.
Cool.
Cross off Brand.
Brand's down to 1.
Yep.
You're off.
Alright, let's see it. So, a 1, 2, 3 for Dale,
It's yours.
and they've got it. So King Brand has to move first.
He's just see who's with him. Should be everyone in the box. Yeah. And he will probably call with me. So you know what? There's going to be a sacrificial guard that just goes at Boromir, isn't there? Yep. Stays in the 6. He would be. You can measure it.
Yep. So one knight has charged Boromir, which will cancel his heroic. And in the rest of Jeremy's move, he was mainly focused on plugging all of these gaps inside the building, making sure his sheer wall could still stand up to Henry's soldiers. Some of the troops from the backfield have slowly been making their way forwards, and this lucky archer finally made it. For the objective, Henry's warrior has now made it all the way, but he is being chased by some of Henry's. And this is the board after Jeremy's movement, and Henry's just responding by tying up some loose ends. It looks like Boromir has got maybe a heroic combat coming. I think definitely a heroic combat coming.
Sure.
And this is our board at the end of that turn. We have a one-on-one conflict fighting over this objective. Looks like Jeremy's got that back one safe for now, but I reckon Boromir's going to be headed over that direction, or at least some of his troops will be. The middle is in contest. Henry's got it safely in this one, and that Knight of Minas Tirith has just charged one of the 2 Warriors of Dale there. So it's going to be an interesting contest to see who comes out on top there. That's going to go into the combat phase. Do we have any heroics to declare?
Yep, Boromir's going to call one.
Not surprising. So heroic combat from Boromir. What about you, Jeremy?
Got one on Brand.
No.
Cool. Boromir first.
All right, let's see it.
Shooting.
You charged me. 3 so far, and then I've got another 4 guys.
Oh,
Do you wanna use
wow.
3 points of might.
No.
Okay.
Wow.
You
Push
should.
it back.
So the Knight of Dale has won.
The tides have turned a bit. Righto. Got him.
That's
And
always going to happen.
massive rolling from Jeremy, killing the Knight of Minas Tirith, so he's got that objective
I'm fine with
safely. And in the next combat, another Knight of Minas Tirith was slain in a one-on-one. Further down the line, Baragond was finally killed, meaning that Henry's lost a lot of cavalry this turn. And then another warrior was just pushed back.
Fight on with.
We have Prince Bard fighting.
I will take a reroll.
Your banner?
No, the guy in front, the hero. He's out of might, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just lost that,
Yep.
No wounds.
but no wounds, so he just backs up.
That's fine.
Kieran?
So Kyrian fighting a warrior.
5. Fight 4 to fight 4. Yours.
Your
banner?
I'll just take the roll.
Yeah. You've had
And
good luck with the
goes
roll-offs.
to Jeremy, and he
Wound.
puts a wound on Kyrian.
He's just going to cop it.
Kyrian's 2 wounds, 1 fate, so he's got 1 wound and 1 fate left. Looks like the last fight for the turn
No,
is...
there's 2 here. It's
Oh,
not, it's not the
alright.
last fight. Calm down on your last fight. Brand.
Yep.
So the king,
One's a knight. Yours.
5 will do it.
king has won it.
I have straight 4, so they're all the same
Five's
to
on.
wound, so prioritise the knight. 5's to wound.
No.
Nothing.
Oh,
Can't wound
Unlucky.
anything, and there's 1 more.
and in the last fight, Jeremy manages to win it and just push back Henry's troops. But this was a massive turn for Jeremy, getting a lot of kills and not losing anyone. Alright,
Priority.
and that is the board after the combat phase. Let's see the
How close
priority
to
roll.
break are you?
3.
So it goes to Dale once again. Henry, you going to call anything?
The only reason why I would be able to tie down that objective.
Ultimately, Henry decided not to, so it went into Jeremy's movement. Now, this is an absolutely massive fight. It's a Warrior of Dale versus a Ranger of Gondor, and they're fighting over that objective. Jeremy tied up Boromir with just one soldier, and that Dale Archer is just going for the objective. Now, in the main fighting, Jeremy's just tying everything up. He's hoping just to get a kill with each of his heroes, going into Kyrian with Prince Brand. So this is Dale's movement over, so there's a fight down here over this objective. Boromir's tied up, and in the middle, it's looking pretty scrappy. And in Henry's movement, Boromir was tied up, so I think he's just getting ready for another heroic combat, hopefully a successful one this time. And his Citadel Guard Archer is just moving half so he can see the Warrior of Dale who's just sprinting straight for that objective. And lots of Henry's stuff was tied up in that movement, so he just has an archer to take a shot at Jeremy's archer hiding behind the tree.
Nope.
He's missed though. Alright, and that goes to the combat phase, so will there be any heroics declared?
Boromir?
Boromir has declared a heroic combat. Boromir's got the 6 to win the fight this time. And...
Fours. Defense.
Fours. Defense
Need to point
6.
Yep, correct.
Yep.
Does he have a land?
No, you changed me.
Oh.
I had a 4, I'll use the point of might.
Yep.
Cross it off.
Point of might on the 4. So Boromir's down to 1 point of might.
I only really need one.
And
I
he's
can't have
killed
him
the
watching
knight.
again. Like, that's just silly. He's going to go into him there. Sure.
And
Can
coming
I
to
just measure
threat.
before he moves? Let's just see if he's within 9, of course. Yep, she can kill him. Yep.
So an all-important fight down here. Jeremy's just got the 6
Take him off.
and a 5 to kill the ranger that had chased down his archer.
Let's go. I reckon that one's trapped.
Shielding.
Oh, I've got it. Got it.
The next fight saw a Warrior of Dale get pushed back. King Brand is on a 6 to
6.
win the fight.
5s to win.
5s to wound.
Oh,
Nothing.
again.
He's botched again.
That's 9.
He's not performing well.
Let's go the one with Kyrian.
So the
I'm
Prince
gonna shield.
fighting Kyrian.
6s.
6s.
You win.
And what's his defense?
6.
So 5s on the red.
And that's
One wound.
1 wound, so it's a fate point for Kyrian to stay alive. He has passed. In the next fight, an Archer of Dale was pushed back, but importantly, not slain. Every kill counts right now, and then the Dale pushed back the Gondorians. And final fight of the turn, Boromir has charged in.
5s. Clocked. Got a 5.
I'm just going to double check my banner range. I don't think it's in, and it's not.
Just out.
Well,
Good thing for Boromir.
Got him on a 4.
And he certainly killed that one that time. So now there's a clear gap between Boromir and the King of Dale. So let's see the priority roll. Henry's got a 3, Jeremy's on a 5 to win it again. Now Henry has lost 11 models out of his 25, so he's still a few off breaking, and Jeremy is broken, but that army bonus is really keeping him alive. Despite Henry still having a point of might, he decided not to call a heroic move because he needs to save it for the strike. So that's Jeremy's move first. And with Jeremy's move, he's sending one of the warriors on the back objective forwards, because if this game keeps going, hey, he might actually make it. And that Dale Archer is running straight for the Citadel Guard. He can't keep getting shot at, so he needs to get in there and kill him. And in the center, it's just a big cluster of fights, and everything's trying to kill everyone. Everyone's just charging, and Jeremy's trying to keep his heroes safe from Boromir, but I don't know how well he's going to be able to do that. And he's also trying to finish off Kyrian, who's put up a good fight. And that is Jeremy's move done. So Henry has free reign with Boromir, and he's gone into the king. They both have a point of might. So it looks like it's just going to be a strike off.
Oh yeah. This one.
So there's some very interesting shooting this turn. We have a Warrior of Dale, who's look like...
I can't see you at all.
Can I see you?
I don't think so. I can't see you. That would be unusual, but you can look.
Yeah, okay.
Now a very funny error there. Neither of them can see each other. So Henry's got one shot here,
4s every time.
and he's missed.
He sat still, didn't he?
No,
Yeah,
he
last turn he moved to 3 inches.
Okay.
So he did sit
Yeah.
still that turn,
No.
but doesn't kill. All right.
I'm striking.
I'll strike too.
So in the combat phase, King Brand calling a strike and Boromir calling a strike. Now, can I confirm that is the last point of might on the table for both of you?
Correct, yes. I'm fainting with the yellow guy.
So Kyrian fighting the Prince.
I'll take a banner roll.
Yep. Nice.
And Kyrian has won, so he is still alive, pushing back the Prince
Yeah.
and a Warrior. He's definitely done well this game.
Lost a lot of combat here.
And on the back objective, the Archer of Dale managed to win the fight, but didn't get a kill. Super important, these objective fights. In the middle, a Warrior of Gondor was just pushed back but not slain. That good defense keeping them standing. And the same thing happened again in the next fight to the next Warrior of Gondor. Alright, so it's time for the big fight. King Bran fighting Boromir. King Bran gets to fight 8 and Boromir is on fight 7. We're here to roll dice. Jeremy's got the 6 and that'll win thanks to the fight value. So Jeremy, what are you going to do with those strikes?
I'm going to check my strength. Strength 4. So defense 7 for Boromir?
Yeah.
So it's either 6s to win Boromir or 5s on the normal guys. I probably have to get to break. I think that's my only chance at this point in time. Although Boromir is pretty tasty. Boromir's horse.
Boromir's horse.
Got it.
That's a dead horse. Throne Rider, Boromir.
Strength. And a wound.
Boromir.
Fate.
So it's a 1 on the Throne Rider, a 6 on the wound. He's passed his fate. Doesn't actually mean much, but it's definitely a hit to the ego.
And the other 2 normal guys, prioritizing the knight. Reroll one of them because of the rule. I got the knight.
And that's the aftermath of the King's fight. It's Boromir prone and a dead knight. And in the last 2 fights, an Archer of Dale was pushed back, and then the Banner Bearer was slain, but he was able to push back into the Archer, so he just handed off the banner. Just at the end of the turn now, Jeremy, how close are you to quartered?
I've been just avoiding it entirely. I started with 31 models. There is currently 19 dead. So to get me a quarter, you need to kill, what's that?
There must be 7 alive.
7 alive.
So you've still got plenty more than 7 on the board. And Henry, are you close to break now?
1 or 2 off.
1 or 2
25
off.
models, I've got 12 dead.
12 dead, alright, so 1 more to break. Let's see the priority roll.
I feel like I'm going to get it again.
Oh, and it's gone to Minas Tirith. It's about time.
Finally. 3 inches, 1 inch there. I think I'm just out. Yeah. I was out of range anyway.
Yeah, no problem.
Sitting there.
And with the rest of Henry's move, he's charging in on the objectives. He had to shimmy these models around a little bit to make sure it was legal. And in the center, he's just charging in, tying up Jeremy's warriors, making sure his own troops aren't getting trapped while trying to trap some of Jeremy's. And that does take us into the shooting phase.
Do you just want him to shoot?
Yeah, he's just going to shoot.
Alright, you're 1 shot.
I'm going to go at... I'll go down, why not? Should be point blank range, shouldn't it?
Yeah.
That'd be a hit. Strength 5. That'd be a wound.
Oh.
Good thing these are 2... Oh, no, he's 1 wound model.
So a fate point on Damrod. He's still alive. At the end of the move, everything is tied up in the middle there. The king is trapped, but he does get bonuses when he is trapped. There's a fight on the objective here. Now the problem is Henry's spread out, and if he breaks, some models could flee that are going for the objective, so he really wants to avoid that happening. He needs to get Jeremy down to 7 models as quickly as he can. And the fight phase started on this objective where the Warrior of Dale was pushed back, and on the other one it was as well. Those ones are super crucial. In the center, it was generally not very violent. Lots of people pushed back, not many people died. So Tyrion, again fighting. He's got a 5 while shielding, and the Prince has got a 6. This could be Tyrion's final fight. The Prince's mate got a 6. And there's a 6 to take Tyrion's last wound off. He fought well, but he has fallen. Alright, looks like there's 1 fight left. So Boromir fighting the king. Now Boromir does have the higher fight value here.
I'm going to feint on them both.
On the Prince?
Yeah, sure. That was a 6.
That was a 6, yeah, I know.
Alright.
It doesn't matter anyway, because I don't know mine.
Okay, cool.
Henry's got the win.
So I get a reroll.
Yeah, fair
so
enough.
I'll try and hunt the 6, which doesn't matter.
Yeah. First slot, rerolling the black solid.
So there's 1 wound.
With a reroll. 1 wound so far.
Yep.
And
what defense are you?
Defensive 7.
1 wound.
So just 1, but he's only got 1 point of fate. So if Jeremy fails this, that'll be a point for leading the wounding the leader, but he's passed.
Would never happen.
At the end of that turn, Henry lost Kyrian, which has broken his army. So, priority for the next turn went to Jeremy. He won it with the roll of a 2, so he was pretty happy about that. Which means that Henry's going to be taking some courage tests this turn, and he's still got a few to go before he quarters, but it's looking like that's the way this game's going to end. So Jeremy, where's your movement going to start?
I'm going to start this one using the bodyguard rule. I'm going to try and peel around as much as I can. So I just enter the control zone and back here, so that we can have a pushing fight. That sounds like fun, Henry. This one's going to engage the Warrior of Minas Tirith, hoping that the fight 4 guy is the one that runs away. Oh! Yes. Yes, he'll do that. I need to pin Boromir as much as I can, so this guy can, and he will. So there's no stand fast.
So King Bran's courage test has just passed.
So he's going to go into just the Citadel Guard. Yeah.
And just trying to take down numbers, not bothering going for Boromir. Now this is an interesting point. Jeremy's still trying to charge everyone to engage them in combat, but if he hadn't have charged them, they would have had to take courage tests, but then they could have ganged up on one of his guys. I think he played it right. So at the end of Jeremy's move, Henry's got some important courage tests. The first ranger has fled, meaning that's a draw on that objective, and the next one, roll of a 6. No, he's fine.
Courage 4.
Courage 4, courage 3, but the Gondor army bonus gives you +1. Taking you to courage 4.
Everything else has been charged. Okay.
Everything else engaged, so there's no shooting phase. That's going to go into the combat phase. Jeremy, you've got priority, so where are we going to start?
Let's start on probably the side ones to keep it.
All right, both of these are, all three of these are super important.
Mine.
So the first one, Citadel Guard has lost, but is still alive.
Over there, Damrod.
Damrod fighting a Warrior of Dale.
4.
Dale's on 1, Damrod's on a 4.
Yep.
Now Damrod just needs a 4 here, but he can't quite do
Why
it.
would I ever be able to roll a 4?
And the next one. Oh, it's going well for Gondor. Can they get the kill? They just need a 5, and they've got it. So they have now claimed that objective if they can hang around on it. So the Prince fighting, trying to get kills. He's got the 6, needs a 5 to get the kill.
Got it.
And he does, taking Henry's numbers down.
Nice.
And a Warrior of Gondor was pushed back but not slain. It's that defense 6 that's really keeping them standing now. And another one happened, and another one. So 3 pushed back.
Oh, mine will be bad now.
Am I against 1?
Yep.
So the King
It's mine.
has won the fight, needs a 5 to
Brand.
take down the enemy,
Kill him.
and does it.
Okay, over here, just wait, I just need to double check this. Yeah, that's the right call. I'm going to shield. I'm going to take the barrel. Yep.
So Boromir's on a
6.
5.
Yeah.
And Jeremy didn't get the 6.
Cocked, and yep, just 1.
Got him.
And managed to kill the Warrior of Dale. In the last fight of the turn, 2 Warriors of Dale were pushed back and 1 was slain, leaving the banner. And at the end of the turn, both armies just have 9 models remaining. If Jeremy loses 2 more, that's game over. Henry has just 1 priority.
Hero of Valor.
So Boromir's courage test has passed. That's not surprising, but it means his stand fast goes off, so all of those warriors around him are fine. In the corner,
Move Boromir.
Citadel Guard has bodyguard, so he's good to go. And Henry's just tying up Jeremy's troops in the middle. He wants to kill them so he can claim that objective. And some very important courage tests.
He's good.
He is good. So that is Damrod has passed. If he can kill that warrior, he can get some points.
Ranger.
Over here,
He's good.
Ranger's fine.
So he's staying there?
Yep. Warrior in his chest.
Is
5 is
gone. Alright, so that goes to Jeremy's move.
Bodyguard?
So yes, you've got that objective safely. And in the middle, everything is tied up. We've got some very important combats coming up in this fight phase. Very important 1v1. It's a 6 to Citadel Guard, a 5 to kill. Doesn't get
Back
it.
me an inch away. Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Alright, next one-on-one here. Fighting over the objective. It's Damrod. It's gone to the Ranger. Needs a 5. Doesn't get it. So this objective is also contested still. And Jeremy managed to push back a warrior, and then in the next fight push him back and kill him, getting him closer to that 25%. But Prince Bran lost a fight and pushed back. So it's Boromir fighting the king.
6s.
Boromir's got a 6, so he'll win the fight just off fight value. Needs 6s to wound though.
1 wound.
1 wound. And he's already lost his fate, so that will get Henry a VP for wounding the leader. The last fight saw another warrior of Minas Tirith just getting pushed back. And that is the end of the turn. Henry, did you lose any models that turn?
Yeah, there's a
Courage.
You lost 1, so you're
And
down
one moving,
to 7 models, so 1 more.
So I had 24 models in my army, so it's what, 6, 12, 8.
Had
6 on the
25,
board.
so 6 on the board, and you're
7
quartered.
One
You've
to go.
got 7, so 1 more to go. And Jeremy, you have 8 on the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9. So 2 more to quarter Jeremy, 1 more to quarter Henry, and these objectives are all tight. So with priority to Jeremy, it's a one-on-one there. Jeremy stayed still to force Damrod to take a courage test just in case he gets unlucky. In the rest of Jeremy's move, he's just charged 1 model into Boromir to tie him up so that the rest of his models can just kill the last of Henry's warriors, hopefully solidifying him this objective. And this is the end of Jeremy's move. In Henry's move, he's passed a courage test with Damrod.
Charging or shoot off?
I'm shooting on 3. We're
I
both...
shoot first.
Yeah.
So Damrod
Got a
has
stronger bow too.
charged
Sure.
in. Very important courage test there.
7 is good.
It's a 7, so he's fine. So Henry will hold that objective.
That's everyone. Presumably.
And that is all the movement. There's not many models left. Got to kill 1 to quarter Henry. Now, this is a very important fight over the objective. It's gone to Jeremy, but he hasn't got the kill. So that
Strong.
objective, if the game ends this turn, is contested. 1-on-1 here.
6. Yep.
Henry's on a 6 and a 5, so he's
Game.
killed the Warrior of Dale. That
Well done.
could be the deciding combat. And in his fight, the King managed to kill a Warrior, meaning that Henry is now quartered. This is the last turn. So we have
5, 6.
Prince Bard fighting against 1 Warrior of Minas Tirith.
Fainting. 6 is 2. Yes. Got him off.
And the Prince kills the Warrior.
Yep. Then I've got these 2 spearmen. I'm going to go the yellow one here.
5 in the front normally. 2.
5 9. And 4
But doesn't take him down. So last combat
Is this
of the
last
game,
combat? Yep.
I am going to shield.
Boromir versus a guy.
6
This is mine. Yep. So he.
And Boromir just pushes him back.
Congratulations.
So
well
that
done.
is game. At the
We
end
gave
of
him a nail biter.
end of the game, Henry's controlling this objective,
So it's
this
2.
objective. So they're 2 points each.
Yeah.
This objective here in the corner is neutral, so no one gets any points for it. Jeremy's going to take 2 points for the objective in the back. Now this one in the middle, Jeremy, you have the majority. Are you going to score 2 points or 1 point for this one?
Oh, it's 1 point. This is 1 each for the break.
And then I wounded you.
1 each for the break.
You got heaps more.
I think it's 4 to 6.
Final score 4 to 6. It came down to Henry finally winning this objective and this objective for the win. Couldn't have been a closer game. Fantastic match. And Henry, that means that you are the new contest champion.
Well done! World champion, contest
They made me
champion.
fight for it.
Every champion.
And wow, what a finish to the Conquest Champions League Season 2. Congratulations to our winner, Henry. Conquest Champions League Season 3 will be happening. Just let me know in the comments how many points you reckon it should be.
No, it was a fantastic game, and well done to Henry. I'm going to have to be back next season and come up with something really nasty to get some revenge on that one.
What a game. Tell you what, Jeremy runs you ragged. Even if you clinch the win, I'm completely on my last legs. Look, great game. It's always incredibly nerve-wracking when it comes down to courage tests on objectives, turn after turn. And look, I got the luck there, but you know, I had a bit of luck at the start of the game, which got me off well, and I had a bit of pace going. And then that mid-game swing to Jeremy with the luck that just kept it close, and yeah, finished up an awesome game. And look, Jeremy's one of the best players in Australia, there's no doubt, so it's always a great game against him, and you can never count on an early lead. If anyone's going to pull it back, it's him. So yeah, look, fantastic game. Thank you to Jeremy, and it'll be interesting to see what happens next season. I'm going to have to come up with a new army and not something that I painted when I was 12 years old. So excited for the next season.
This has been Conquest Creations, and thank you for watching.